Guys, welcome back to Heart Labs. Today we will see what is list. Till now we have seen the basic introduction to Python and what generally is Python and how to use Python, right? Now we'll move one step ahead and we'll see different things with respect to list. What generally list is, how to use it, when to use it, and what are the different methods revolving around list. Okay, so let me give you all a very good example of list. Let's say whenever you make notes, okay, whether using mobile phone you make notes, whether using pen and paper, right? How you prepare notes? Do you follow any ordering? Or any type. Let's say you've written some money calculation. Okay, you can also write some notes that have been provided by your professor, your teacher. So you write everything in that notes, right? Let's say in your mobile phone, the notes that we all use, right? We write anything in that, and the recent one get placed on top, right? So what is that? It's a kind of list where you can write anything in any format. It can be any data type, whether integer, it float, string, boolean, anything. Okay, so this is list. And let me tell you all that list is the most frequently used data structure in Python, one of the built-in data structure, and it can be created with just square brackets. Okay, it's built-in. Okay, now let's understand some basic functionality of list. Okay, so let me write to a new code. Basic functionality of list or benefits. Okay, so list, they are mutable. Now what does it mean by mutable? That means you can edit your list. Even if you have created your list already, you can do the required changes as per your convenience. So they are mutable. Let's say can do any changes later on. Okay, then they follow order. Now for example, when you create notes in your mobile phone, the recent note get placed on top, right? The very first one will be at very bottom. That means it follows a proper ordering. It follows proper order. The last element, let's say the last element will show at the end. Okay, they are dynamic. That means you can store int, you can store float, you can store string, anything you want you can store it in a list. So it support dynamic type. Okay, now it can also be accessed. Let's say you want to access any number or element in a list, we can do with indexing. Okay, there are multiple ways to use indexing. We'll see the examples. Okay, no issues. Now let's understand when to use list. When to use list. Okay, when you want to store different kind of datas. Okay, it can be any type, it can be anything. If you want to store, you can use list. If ordering is mandatory for you, if you required, let's say if there's a need for you that there should be a proper ordering, let's say ranking, so ranking can display in a list. Okay, okay, okay. We can also create list with any primitive data types, whether it's integer, whether it's float, boolean, string, anything. Okay, so that means list we can use it according to our needs, but by following certain rules. Okay, so let's say now understand how we can create list. How can create list? Okay, so there are two ways to create list. The one is using square brackets, and then other one is using list function. Okay, so let's quickly see. So I will say lst equals to 1 2 3 4 a comma b comma c. Okay, now to print list, you can either say print lst, okay, you can say directly lst. Okay, okay. Now one thing, let me clarify to all of you that this software that we are using, it's a Jupyter notebook followed by Anaconda software, which is for analytics purpose. Okay, so in the upcoming video somewhere you will get the installation of this Anaconda software. Okay, maybe you can get, or you can expect tomorrow. Okay, this list, sorry, my bad, the installation of Jupyter notebook. This makes easier and it looks nicer to use it, and for explanation as well. Okay, so I will add this installation video maybe tomorrow. Okay, let's resume the class. Now we'll see the next way of creating a list. Let's say I'm saying lst1 equals to list, I will say 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, oh my bad, sorry. Let's say lst lst this. So now this will become list. Okay, see, when you're using list function, we can pass already created a vector into this and can create a list. Let's say I am having a equals to 1, b or let's say I'll say a equals to, now this is a tuple. We'll see further in further session what is tuple. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now I'm saying here lst1 equals to list, and I will say a. So if I say lst1 dot, or let's say type of lst1, it's a list. Okay, so these are the two ways to create a list. Now we'll see operations on a list that we can perform. Okay, the very first thing is indexing. Okay, So we'll say, let's say I want to access the third element. Okay, and before that, always remember, indexing starts in Python with 0. It goes 0 to any limit. It depends upon the size of your list. Okay, so let's say I want to access the third element. So 0 index, first indexing, second indexing. So I will say lst 2, which will give me the value 3. Okay, now let's say I want to access the first element. I will say lst 0, which will give me the first value. Okay, now further let's see negative indexing. Let's say if you want to access the list from right hand side. Okay, till now we have seen from left hand side. If you want to access list from right hand side, so let's say I'm saying if you want to access last value, so I will say lst minus 1. Okay, you can see lst minus 3. Okay, and remember, the way we do in positive indexing from left hand side, it start with 0, but from right hand side it start with minus 1, because 0 is already occupied in the one way. Okay, the other way start with minus 1. Okay, now we'll see slicing, another method when you want to access element continuously. Okay, in a proper order or in a range, a bundle if you want to take out, then we can use slicing. Indexing is used to get the one by one value or alternate values. Okay, if you want to get the range of the values, you can use slicing. So we'll say lst, let's say start is 0 index and end is the third index. Now if it's a third index, so it will become 0, 1, 2, 3 till 4 it should show. Okay, so I will say 0 to 3 index, but it showed only 1, 2, 3, not 4. Okay, because I said 0 to third index, so it will go up till third index, but it will print only 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last limit is the range where it should end. That's why the last index it didn't display. Okay, now we'll see, if you want to verify, if want to verify that certain value is there or not, can use membership function, which is by using in keyword from Python. So let's say will say if value 2 in lst, it will give me true. If I say 10 in lst, it's not there in lst, it will say false. So this is the member function which allows you to verify whether the value is present in list or not. Okay, okay, now with slicing there's one more thing, let me show. Let's say lst, now lst I will say minus 3 till minus 1. Okay, so from minus 3 to minus 1, now minus 1 is bigger than minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So I say minus 3 to minus 1. So A and B. Okay, now this is negative slicing. Like this you all can try more examples. Okay, now there are more thing you can do. You can also do concatenation between lists. Let's say A equals to 1 2 3 and B equals to 4 5 6. I want to merge this together, these lists. So I will simply say C equals to A plus B, and we'll display C. C 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is list concatenation. You can use it anywhere when you want to merge two lists together to show your desired result. Okay, now we will see some methods with respect to list. Okay, the first thing is append function. Okay, so when to use append function? When you want to use it and add any value at the end of the list. Okay, then you all can use append function. So let's say I'm saying I want to add a value at the end of the first list. So I will say a dot append 10, let's say, and print a. See, the last value added. Okay, okay, but you will think, no, this is not appropriate. I want to insert value anywhere I want. Okay, so for that, at any index and or any specific index, you all can use insert function. So I will say a dot insert. Let's say I want to insert the value in A in first position. So what is the index at the first position is 0. So first you have to mention the index 0, and then you have to mention the value that you want to insert at that position. So I will say insert 11 and print A. See, now 11 is on index 0. Okay, now this list is unsorted. If you want to sort this list, so you can say a dot sort. This will sort the list and print A. Okay, if you want to do the reverse of your list, okay, so a dot reverse. Okay, this will reverse the list. Okay, okay, now we will see if you want to delete anything from a list. If you want to delete values, if you want to directly delete values, you're not bothering about indexing, then can use remove function directly. So a dot remove, let's say I want to remove value 11. Okay, so let me print a. Okay, it's already removed, so let's say 10. I want to remove 10. Okay, so 1 2 3. Now it's only 1 2 3. Okay, but let's say I want to remove value at a specific index, then you will use pop. So understood the difference between remove and pop? When you want to delete not directly value, then can use remove. If you want to delete at specific indexing, then can use pop. Okay, so I will say a dot pop. Let's say indexing first index I want to remove. Now I'm saying first index means 0 1. Second value I want to remove, so I will say a dot pop index is 1. I will print a. Now it's only 1 and 3. Now the last topic of list function, or you can say list, is list comprehension. It's a bonus topic that we should know. So let's say if you all want to make a list out of another list, then can use list comprehension. Okay, let's quickly see the example. So you here have a. Okay, so list A, or let's say create a new list. I will say fruits. So I will say apple, banana, cherry. Okay. Now, what is list comprehension? It allows you to write the entire code in a single line instead of using a for loop where you will give condition that this is the condition, if this is the condition then do this. But with respect to list comprehension, you can write in a single line. So what is a difference between this list comprehension and for loop for doing the same thing, we'll see in some other session. But let's just quickly see how you all can define list comprehension. So I will say new list, new lst equals to, I will say x. First I will define the iterator for x in fruits. If, let's say, if a in x, print the new lst. Okay, so the new lst. Now what I said, if a is there in x, so it will search for all the values, all three fruits. If a is present, the character a is present, it will display that value, otherwise it will not. So apple and banana, it has a, it is displaying. Now same thing when you will write with for loop, it will become a bit complex. With list comprehension, it's quite easy and very fast. That's why for creating a new list out of a existing list, one of the best and the preferred choices using list comprehension, which is quite faster. Okay guys, I hope you all liked the session. For any queries, just write in the comment box. We will answer your questions. Thank you.